So today we have a custom PC build. Jackie here really needs this build, seeing as she's currently editing her own YouTube videos on like a laptop from Walmart or something, and that's not a great experience. So, here we have a Ryzen 5 3600, an RTX 2060, a 2TB Seagate drive, an NVMe 256GB, 32GB of DDR4 3200, a 500W power supply, an Asus B550 motherboard, and we're going to put it all together inside this NZXT H510. So Jackie here has never actually built a computer. She does like makeup things, and I don't know anything about that. I just do tech stuff. So Jackie, tell us about makeup or something.
Well, I do normal makeup looks, like everyday makeup, and I also do cosplay makeup.
And you do those in videos?
Yes, I do those for videos.
Okay. So how long does one of those videos take to edit on your crappy little laptop?
Too long.
Too long?
Way too long.
So that thing's probably like a dual core, maybe like 4 threads, whatever it is. I don't even know the specs. It's horrible. I've seen it. But this thing is 6 cores, 12 threads. So it's going to be great. She's got like 8GB of RAM in the other computer. It's completely awful.
Fancy.
Yeah. You got 32GB of RAM there. That's enough to do 4K editing. Lightly. So, where do you think we begin here, Jackie?
I couldn't tell you. That's for you to teach me.
Yeah, I suppose so. So we're going to start here with this motherboard, of course. So if you want to open that up, we'll see what you think of these computer parts.
It's cardboard.
It is cardboard. Right here, you've got your Wi-Fi antenna, because this motherboard does have Wi-Fi, seeing as you don't have access to a cable, actual Ethernet at your house.
Yeah.
So let's get rid of some of this cardboard on the top, and there's your actual motherboard right there.
Oh.
So what do you think of that motherboard, Jackie?
Sexy.
That's a word for it. Go ahead and take it out of that anti-static bag. So you got your B550 motherboard there. Inside this box, you also got your I/O shield. Pretty basic. You got some SATA cables here. You'll need that for your hard drive. You got your standoffs for your M.2 drives, or drive in your case. And you've got a CD for the CD player that no one has anymore.
Alright.
So let's get this out of the way. Seeing as we don't have anything else to really build on, we're just going to build right on top of the motherboard box. Go ahead and set that right on top of there. So the first step is here, we need to install our CPU. So right here you get your Ryzen 5 3600 and a cool little sticker for your case.
Ooh.
Inside this box you've also got some papers that no one cares about. And you've got your actual cooler. We did not go with a standalone cooler for this build because for what she's doing, it should be fine with the integrated cooler. So Jackie, right here with your 3600, you're going to need to put it in this actual socket.
Okay.
So you need to grab that arm right there, the little silver part.
Okay.
Right there.
So, how do I?
Just grab it, and there's like a little thing. You just kind of push it off to the side and then pull it back. And here. You just kind of push it down with your finger, like that.
Okay.
And then it should just pop back. Like this. If it works for me, even. There we go.
Oh, okay.
And it just slides back like that, and it just kind of sits there. Some of the nicer motherboards, like X570 or some of the Intel boards or whatever, they'll have like they'll have like a protector on top, and it's kind of a different setup, but it's all pretty much the same with the CPUs. It's just a little ratcheting system to hold the CPU in.
Okay.
So take your CPU. Now, you'll notice there is a gold arrow on one of those corners.
Yes.
You want to line that up with the actual arrow on one of these corners, which I believe is right there. See the little arrow? So line that arrow up with that arrow.
Okay, so I need it to be turned over.
Yes. No pressure. Just, if you put this in the wrong way, it's probably going to catch on fire.
Okay. That's fine.
Just kind of jiggle it in there and make sure it's dropped in like that. All right, and then you're going to press that little arm down until it clicks. There's a little catch, so push it off to the side.
Yeah.
There you go.
Okay.
Just like that. All right. Now let's install your RAM. So if you want to open that up. So what you're going to do here is you're just going to line up these little divots with these little divots here. And you'll feel a little click.
Okay.
So go ahead and try to stick that one in. Takes a little bit of force, but you're not going to break it. It's fine. There you go. There's a click on that end, but you notice this little thing is still out, so you got to give it a little bit of pressure on this side. And it should just pop right in. You need to hold the board, that's fine. Alright, let me see what's going on this side. Oh no, it's in. It was just kind of quiet. There it is. That's perfectly fine. Now do the same thing for the other stick. Make sure it's facing the right direction. Yeah, I believe it is. Alright, click on that side. Good. Make sure that little lever's down, so just press it down on this side. Almost. Just give it a little bit of pressure right there. That's fine. See, it's down like that. Good. So, you notice you have these little things here.
Yes.
And this is your actual heatsink. Oh. Which, nice enough, has thermal paste already applied. How nice of AMD. Usually you have to smear that out and put a little pea size, but... And you could do that with this, but it should be fine the way it is. You're not doing anything crazy. You're not overclocking or doing any of that.
Yeah.
Now, these nice little brackets are great if you have like a Spire cooler, which is on my 3900, but you do not. You just have the simple cooler. So we're going to have to take off these little parts here, these little screws. Let's just take them out. I'll take the first one off. It just comes right out. Right. You go and do the other ones. Processors obviously create a lot of heat while they're operating, which of course is why we need the actual heatsink. As much as people usually don't like included coolers, the Spire cooler for the 3900X is usually fine, and should be the same case with this one. Now with those screws out, we can pull out these brackets. You should just be able to pull it straight up, much like that. Do the same with that one. And then you're going to find your fan header, so you know how to position this.
Okay.
And it should be CPU fan 1. That's chassis. Here's your CPU fan in this motherboard. There it is, CPU fan 1. See that? Mm-hmm. It's actually printed on the motherboard itself right there.
Okay.
And there's a little header there.
Alright.
Header there. So probably easiest we do this, we'll do it just like this.
Okay.
So you want to set this down directly on top of the processor. So just take your heatsink.
Okay.
And put it straight down on top of it and line up these screws.
Do I face it this way or do I face it this way?
You can face it however you want, but I would face it like this so we can run this cable like this. It'll just look nice and clean. Line up those holes. Just like that. And then you want to screw in each one of those.
Alright.
Not too much pressure. Do it the same way you would change a tire. So alternate sides. Let's give it a little tug. It shouldn't be loose at all. Oh. Now we're going to take your CPU fan header and plug it right into this. Your little cable there. Plug it into the header. You'll notice on one side it's got this little divot here. And you just want to line that up right there. Yep, just like that.
Okay.
And just move this out of the way.
Awesome.
Just like that. And what you have there is your NVMe drive, alright? It's just an SSD drive, kind of like any other storage medium, but it's just much, much faster. This particular drive can read at like almost 3,000 megabytes per second, which is great. So, right here, you have your M.2 slots.
Okay.
We're going to insert this one right into the first slot there. And it can only go in one direction. So follow the little notch here. Stick it right in there. Other way. Rotate it around.
Okay.
You see how this other notch on the end corresponds to one of these holes.
Okay.
Just kind of lay it flat. Like that.
Ah.
See how that matches up?
Okay.
Push it on in there. Okay. You should hear a little click. Just like that. There you go. See how this pops up like this?
Yes.
Hold it down like that and take that screw and just screw it in.
Alrighty.
And hold it down. Yep. Just place the screw. I know it's a tiny little screw. Go ahead and screw that in. Okay. Now this is only 256 gigabyte drive, so you're not going to use it for like storing all your video library or anything, or games or any of that. This is just your frequently used applications like Chrome and your actual operating system, stuff like that.
Okay.
Alright, now that you got all your core components here on your motherboard, let's get the case up here and actually install our motherboard in the case.
Alright.
Go ahead and take the side panel off. Go ahead and unscrew that one screw there. These NZXT cases are really cool because they actually have these like little pins that hold the actual side panel on. A lot of these cases are like all screws. These are actually a thumb screw, so you should be able to just pull that out with your fingers now. All right. Just like that. See how it's loose? It's good. Now you just want to lift it up and away. Just like that.
Okay.
So I'm talking about here with this little nipple thing.
Ah.
I mean, I don't know what else to call it. Now, you see inside of your case here, you got all these little panel slots here. You see you got some empty space here, and you got this big empty space here. That's where this goes. Okay. This is called an I/O shield. If we can get the thing open. This just covers that hole so you don't have dust flowing inside your case where you don't want it to. Okay. So you're going to take this and match it up with the holes on the motherboard.
Alright.
So it's going to go like that.
Right.
And the motherboard's going to go in this way. So if you flip the motherboard around, you'll see it's going to go, and these holes are going to fit right in here. Okay. You want to fit this right in that hole down there. It just kind of pops in. Sorry for the hard cut there, but I had a little bit of a hard cut myself. And it's 2 in the morning, so we don't have any Band-Aids. So toilet paper and tape it is. I mean, if you don't cut yourself building a computer, did you really build anything? So now let's install the motherboard. So you got a bunch of wires and cables in here that comes in your little next NZXT box. So go ahead and take the motherboard.
All right.
And it's just going to kind of fit right in here. Line these holes up with these ports here.
Okay. So face it this way?
No, turn it at a 90-degree angle. Just like that.
This way?
Yep. Okay. Right down in there. Kind of jiggle it into place, and it should snap into those holes. So there's a little pin right here, actually. You see it? There you go.
I got it.
All right. Just put your screws into these holes. So now we're going to install your power supply.
All right.
And it goes right in this little hole right back here. A big open empty space.
Okay.
So we're going to open that up. Right. Take that out.
Ooh, it's heavy.
It is. Now, usually we would get a name brand power supply. I know some people might be saying, what the hell is Power Spec? It's actually Micro Center's brand, their in-house brand. But it's actually made by Seasonic. And they're a very, very good brand. Alright, this part's pretty simple. You're just going to take that and line these holes up. Like this. Put it right in the side over here. And flip this around. Just like that.
Okay.
You gotta go right in here. And line up those holes right here. And take your screws and line up these holes and screw it in. Alright, now that your power supply is in, we need to just run a bunch of primary wires.
Okay.
So around here, we've got a bunch of wires down here, obviously. This is not a modular power supply, but it's what was available. Alright, I know you guys didn't exactly see us actually put that hard drive in, but that's because I realized I had to actually take the power supply out to get the screws to fit with the screwdriver. You see right in here, you've got these pins here.
Okay.
This is your main motherboard power and the CPU power pins right here.
Alright.
Find those and fish them through. You, of course, got your giant one right here.
Okay.
And you want to have your cables managed a little, so you want to stuff it through just like this.
Okay.
And you see it'll come out right on this side.
Okay.
These pins correspond with the pins here. There's a little latch. Same right there. So now you want to find the 8-pin connector for the CPU. And this giant mess of cables, which is right there.
Okay.
I'm going to try to run this up here. And you've got smaller hands than I do, so fish it up through there. We can actually insert these cables now.
Okay.
This one, just stick it right in there. It's a little tight. Just get it to turn. Reconnect that. Just press it down just like that.
Okay.
See that? Mm-hmm. And we'll do the same thing on this side.
Alright.
These are kind of a pain, so I'll go ahead and handle them for you. There we go. That's a pain, but it's in. Stand back up. On this side, we have a few other little small cables we need to get. You have your SATA cable here. Go and open that up. That's your SATA data cable. Your SATA power cable is right here. These little cables, we can just kind of stuff up in here. There's nowhere to really put them. Unfortunately, this is not a modular power supply. So you just kind of jam these right up in there. On this side, you only need one of these cables.
Okay.
And it goes into one of these here.
Okay.
Let's find SATA 1. I believe is that one. And just plug that right in.
Does this end?
Yeah. Here, click.
Okay, yep.
All right. Now, there should be a little hole to run it underneath there. And it plugs right in, right there. Right here, you get your power connector.
Okay.
Just pops in there just like that. Now, we have a bunch of little wires, like these right here.
Okay.
And these all go to your front panel headers, like your headphone jack, your USB-C. So these, we will just fish through the bottom here. There's a little hole right over on this side. So we can just fish those down around through here. This we can fish through up this way, because you'll need this for your graphics card. Just try to bring it right straight through here.
Oh, up there?
Yeah, where the fingers are.
Ah,
Okay. Just get one of those. We have HD audio,
okay.
which goes in the audio port. Which is right there. You just match up the pins, see that?
Okay.
Right there.
This one?
Mm-hmm. Here's our other front panel connector here. Like that. USB 3. That connector is actually on this side, so we need to push that back to the other side.
Okay.
That's the fat cable here. And we can run that directly through here and plug it in right on the other side. You got your fan wires here we need to move. Now, these are the same kind of connectors you found on your CPU connector. On your CPU fan, I mean.
Yes.
So we're going to find the ports for those. You have one here, chassis fan. You should have at least one more somewhere if we can find it. Chassis fan 2 right there. We're going to find the best way to kind of snake those through. One's probably going to be up top. This one, we can fish around through here. You're just going to want to stick it right down in here. But
Okay.
first, you need to loosen up this right here.
Alrighty.
This is different on all cases, I mean really, but it's just a little thing that holds down the ports here. And that'll fit right in this slot.
Okay.
And you'll hear it click right here.
Just like this?
Yep, just sound like that. Line up these holes with the back of the motherboard right there. Is it in?
Yep.
Click. All right. There we go. That's in. We got to put the power connector in. Let's go and get these screws in. Now you want to take your power connector,
Okay.
little 8-pin there, and plug it right in there. It's kind of split just like the other 8-pin over there.
Okay.
Just line it up with a little divot on this side. Make sure the little clip is facing the right direction. Clinton, he's facing this direction.
Oh.
If you feel under here, there's a little lip.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Just gotta pull this through the other side. Make it look all nice and pretty. You've done a fine job with this. It's just 1,000,000 degrees in this room.
Yeah.
And we're all tired.
And it's 3 a.m. Oh boy, 3 a.m.
What a good time to build a computer, 3 a.m. What a good time to build your first computer. Alright, cool. All cable managed. Flip over to this side.
Nice.
That is not a bad looking computer. Now, flip it back over. There we go. How about a power test? See if it actually turns on. So it is now the next day. That took way too long yesterday, but it was like 3 in the morning and it was 1,000,000 degrees in here. But
yes,
we got all the components together now and we can just turn it on and it should work.
it did something.
There we go.
Yay!
So with this build, Jackie should be able to do her videos a lot faster.
Yes.
And if you want to see a video, she actually did it on this computer. You can go check that out. She's making me pretty, I guess. It'll be somewhere in here or a video and link in the description.
Yes.
Thanks for watching. See you next time.